सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्त जनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेवदेव। हरि ओम। So we are discussing the position of both Prabhakaras as well as Tarkikas in terms of what is the size of Atma, and they conclude that size of the Atma is infinite, but it has certain properties. The most important property is it can gain the knowledge. It is capable of gaining the knowledge, and because of that all other properties come into picture. Therefore it has Ichcha, therefore Dvesha and Prayatna, and it has a desire, and therefore Dvesha includes Loga Dveshas and all that. Therefore the good as well as the Raga attachments and aversions and all that, and Prayatna, and to solve a problem because they have Ichcha, therefore desire, therefore you have to act also, and therefore Dharma, Adharma, Karmatva, Karturtva Bhavam and Bhoktrutva Bhavam, and therefore not only in this life and those which have accumulated, they go into the different lives and therefore different lokas. All that has been are the properties of this infinite, which is originally is unconscious, inert Atma according to them. So therefore it goes to transmigration also of different lokas also, life after life. So here he is trying to conclude, evam cha sarvagasyapi sambhavetam gamagamo samyavetam karma kanda samagotra vakanda samagotra pramanamiti te vadan. So evancha, in this way, sarvagasyapi, even though it is all pervading, so that is for them it is infinite Atma. Gama agamo, that is movement is there not only in this life plus life after life from different lokas also. Sambhavetam is possible. So atra, in this regard, Samagra karma kanda, all the karma kandas that are, because these are Prabhakaras, these are who believe the Purva Mimamsa, that's karma kanda, so therefore they emphasize the karma kanda. So there it is, action is involved and desire prompted actions, and therefore if you want to go to Swargam, you have to do certain yagas, certain karmas, all the karma kandas is there, and therefore it prescribes for that jiva. So pramanam is there, authority is there, the whole karma kanda is an authority. Iti te prabhakaraha tarkikaha avadan. They means those people, and we are talking about the people who follow Prabhakara and people who follow logics, Nayayikas or Nyaya Vaiseshikas. They have this of the Atma as they believe this is the Atma. Number one, it is infinite. Number two, it is inert, but it has a quality of knowledge, and therefore all the other things that come with it. Sloka 94. Anandamaya kosho yaha Nandamaya kosho Sushupto parisishyate Aspashta chitsa atmausham Aspashtachitsa atmausham Purvakososyate gunaha Purvakosasyate gunaha. So Sushupta, so that in the deep sleep state, so that is a reference for them. Chit aspashtaha. Chit is the knowledge that it has gained about the whole world and about all other things. Aspashtaha, it is not spashtam, it means it's not clear. That means it is undifferentiated knowledge. Means you cannot distinguish this is this, all that, because in the deep sleep state, the mind is not there. Yaha, that which Anandamaya Koshaha, the bliss sheath, parisishyate. What is left is only Anandamaya Kosha. That means absence of duality is itself is the happiness there. Anandamayam. Saha Purva Kosha Yesham Atma Asyate Gunaha. So that Purva Kosha, because it's folded, so for him that is the main kosha, the primary kosha is the deep sleep state, because it's inert and no knowledge is there unless it activates. Only knowledge of the absence of everything is only there. And when it Esham, when it is these Tarkikas and Prabhakaras is Atma Asya, these gunaha, all other things are only attributes are superimposed on the Atma, but original Atma is just, it is infinite, inert, as in the deep sleep state. Nobody is conscious of deep sleep state, therefore it is inert. So they have logic. So this is the Prabhakara's position. Now he is going to talk about Bhattas. Bhatta is his teacher, Kumarilla Bhatta. Kumarilla Bhatta is the one I may give, is the one who follows him closely is the Madana Mishra. So Madana Mishra is a student of Bhatta. Godam Chaitanyam Utprecha Jadabodhaswarupatam Atmano Bhruvate Bhattaha Chidut Atmanaha, so this Atma is Gudam Chaitanyam. So it is actually hidden consciousness only. Even in the deep sleep state, you say it is inert, its only consciousness is also hidden there. So Utprecha, this can be logically deduced also. Jadabodha Swarupatam, so of the nature of inertness and jada and bodha swarupatam. Therefore, it has inertness and consciousness, both are involved. So for them, chid ajit swarupam. So what Bhatta's argument is, compared to Prabhakara is it is inert. Okay, no, it is both inert as well as conscious entity. There, in the consciousness is hidden in the deep sleep state. And what is expressing is only its unconscious state. So it is both unconscious as well as it can express conscious also. So therefore it is Chidajit Swarupam or Jadabodha Swarupam. Bhattaha, followers of Bhatta, Bhruvate, they declare. Uttitaha smute, so by getting up with the memory, it has gained all the Chit Utprechaha. The consciousness is involved. Is when once you get up, the consciousness aspect of it is expressed now. Unconscious aspect is expressed in the deep sleep state. So it has both conscious and as well as unconscious entity. This is the philosophy of the Bhattas. Jade bhutva tadap swapsam. Jade bhutam tadap swapsam. Iti jadya smrutistada. Iti jadya smrutistada. Vina jadyanubhutim na. Vina jadyanubhutim na. Katham no chidupapadyate. Katham no chidupapadyate. So tada, during tada means that in that state, in that deep sleep state, jada bhutva, having become jadam, that means having become inert, apsapsu means I slept very well. Therefore, iti, apsapsu means I slept very well, is a statement. Means I did not know, because I am inert in that state. Jadyam srutihi, the memory of being inert is being recalled when it is a waking state. So that's how they conclude. So what did you do in this? I don't know. So where were you? I don't know. So I don't know is only the means any inert things also doesn't know. So what I have no conscious of anything, including space and time in the deep sleep state. Therefore, I was jadam. And how do I know that I was jadam? I say when I get up, say, what did you do? Say, I don't know only. So inertness is associated with the absence of knowledge also. And the presence of knowledge comes into picture once I am awakened to either in the waking state or a dream state. There is a consciousness activity is going on. So jadya anubhutim bina, without having experienced my state of inertness. Okay, jadya anubhutim bina, kadam chit na upapadyate. In no way one can deduce that I was inert there. So I was experiencing, because that's my state. Therefore, what is the state of Atma? Atma it is Chit Ajit Swarupam. This is the conclusion and logic of the Bhattas. Bhattas are followers of Bhatta. Bhattaha. Okay, Sloka 97. Drashtur drushtera lopascha. Drashtur drushtera lopascha. Srutas suptau tatastvayam. Srutas suptau tatastvayam. Aprakasha prakashabhyam. Aprakasha prakashabhyam. Atma khajyota vajyutaha. Atma khajyota vajyutaha. Suptau means in the deep sleep state. So they are taking the deep sleep state as an analysis, as a reference state. Drashtuhu, of the drashta, means of the seer, of the knower, Atma. Drushdehe, and all the things that are seen, that means things that are knowledge of, all the drashta means I see this, therefore I know this, I know this, I know. So all knowledge of the seer of the objects. Alopaha cha srutaha. So therefore all that is essentially hidden in that alopaha means presence is srutaha tataha tu ayam atma khajyotavatu aprakasha prakashabhyam. So this hidden is there, but it is expressed as I don't know. Therefore inertness is expressed. So there is no drushta, there is no seer seen. Both are not there in the deep sleep state. Only when I am awakened, this invocation of I am a knower comes into picture. This even in the Visishtadvaita, I think last time I said words are missing. This is they called dharma jnanam and dharmi jnanam. Dharmibhuta jnanam and dharma jnanam. Dharmabhuta jnanam and dharmi jnanam. So for them there are two knowledges. They invoke. So the Atma has two knowledge. One is dharmic jnanam, self-knowledge, knowledge about its own self. I know, I don't need any means of knowledge. So it knows itself. That's one. But I want to know other things called dharma bhuta jnanam, and for dharma means I know this, I know that, all other objective knowledge. And objective knowledge is acquired knowledge that is gained by invoking through the pramana, through the senses. But I have a capacity to gain the knowledge. So Jiva property has two properties. It has the self-knowledge, self-consciousness, and also it has the capacity of being conscious of other things as the circumstances arise, called Dharma Bhuta Jnana. So what is the moksha? In the moksha, according to them, we are referring to as our friend is coming. The moksha, according to this Visishtadvaita, is the invocation of Dharma Bhuta Jnanam. That means knowledge of everything else. That is glorified when I realize that not only I know the self-knowledge, that's not a big deal, but I need to have Dharma Bhuta Jnanam that involves knowledge of the universe, Virat Swarupam, that is Ishvara Swarupam. All that knowledge has to come in for me to realize. You follow now? So that is the second quality of knowledge that they require, that are called Dharma Bhuta Jnanam. And I have Dharmic Jnanam. I am self-knowledge, even I know myself. But that since I am Anupramana, I know only a little bit of myself. The knowledge itself is limited because of my nature for them. But here, Drashtur Drushte Ralopascha Srutas Suptau Tatasvadha. So the Shruti itself declares, when you go to Mandukya Karika, says all that is folded in the deeply state, and all Atma Kajota Vitu. It is here is defining. It is like the firefly. What do you call it in the firefly? In the night it glows. So when it opens, it can see the light, and then when it closes, it's dark again. So this swarupam of this nature is consciousness, unconsciousness, like a firefly. It can light it and then it can withdraw it. So it's same way the Atma is of that type. Although it is infinite, it is Chid Achit Swarupam. Jnana Jada Swarupam. And Aprakasha Prakasha Abhyam. And the scripture is supporting is that this is the nature of Atma. This aspect is discussed, and the reference is given as the Brihadaranika Upanishad, chapter 4, the Brahmana 3, sloka 23. That reminds me that we are going to take this chapter 4 and 5 during the Columbus Day camp, where we will be doing Munikanda. But I just found out that there are so many slokas, and in the Sunday they have a mixing of the camp with the regular classes also, which means there are other people who are not attending camp will be attending that session, which means I have to dilute that session a little bit, which means that I may not be able to cover all the Munikanda, because the fourth chapter of Munikanda, there is a Jyotisha Brahmana, which is very, very important. That has to be covered exhaustively, and that is supposed to be third chapter and the fourth chapter. Third chapter I will be doing on Saturday, and fourth chapter I have to come on Sunday. But if it has to be mixed with all that, then I may have to dilute, or I may have to take the Munikanda separately, the fourth chapter again. Okay, all that will be decided depending upon the audience. But it will be fun. Don't worry about it. If the Lord wants me to do two separate Munikandas, let that be so. I have no problem. Anyway. Now these are the Bhattas. We are talking about Prabhakaras. Then we went to his teacher, Kumarila Bhatta's philosophy. Prabhakara says everything is inert. Atma is infinite but inert. And whereas the Bhatta says it is both inert as well as the Chaitanya Swarupam. Chit Achit Swarupam. So this is refuted by Sankhya. So Vedantins don't have to say, hey, this fellow, other fellows already refuted. We don't have to come in. So we had to quote the Sankhya philosophy. So sloka 98. Niram sasyo bhayatmatvam niram sasyo bhayatmatvam niram sasya ubhayatatmam. That's how the sandhi is. Niram sasyo ubhayatmatvam sasyobhayatvat nagadam chit ghatishyate nagadam chit ghatishyate tena chidrupaye vatmeti nachidrupaye vatmeti ahu sankhya vivekinaha So niramsasya, you are saying that it has both, this part, that part. So one comes and one goes. So it says niramsasya, the one atma which doesn't have any parts, how can you divide something which is partless? So ubhayatmatvam, bringing both the inertness as well as the consciousness aspect whenever it wants. Katamchit, in what way? Nagatishyate. It's how it is possible. They are questioning the possibility that it can be both chit rupa and achit rupa. Because if that means each rupa it can change. It means when it can change, it means it has a parts of this and that. Niramsasya, it is partless atma. How can it be? Tena, therefore, chit rupaha evam atma. Therefore, it is of the nature of consciousness alone. Don't mix in unconscious. So it is negating both Prabhakara's position. Prabhakara's position is that it's achit rupa. Bhatta's position is it's both chit and achit. So it's negating both of them, saying it no, it is of the pure consciousness nature. Iti Sankhya Vivekinaha aho. So it is Sankhya. It can be Vivekinaha as a quality of them, or Sankhya Vivekinaha, the followers of Sankhya, say so, or Sankhya who are intelligent enough, because we agree with them. Because they are, what exactly they say is correct. But what they say is other things we don't agree. But at least this part, when they negate that it is Atma is pure consciousness, we agree. Atma is infinite, we agree. So those two parts, and therefore they are Vivekinaha. Now, what is inert and what is conscious according to Sankhya, they are going to discuss here. So we are now dealing with this Sankhya position. Sloka 99. Jadjam saprakrute rupam Jam saprakrute rupam vikaritrigunam tat vikaritrigunam tat chito bhagopavargartham chito bhogapavargartham pravritissa pravartate Jadjam Shaha, the inert part is not coming from the consciousness of the Atma. So, Prakrute Rupam, it belongs to the Prakriti. So, Prakriti is inert. And Prakriti undergoes Vikaram. Prakarshena Krutitvad is Prakriti. That which can undergo, which can be created, which can be destroyed and so on. That is of the nature of Prakriti. Tat Vikarit Trigunam Cha. So that Prakriti undergoes modifications and it has three gunas. Three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. And for them, they are in the balanced state according to the Sankhyas. Sa prakriti, that prakriti, chitaha bhoga apavargartham. So chitaha, the consciousness self that we are talking about, bhoga and apavargartham. Bhoga for joys as well as apavargartham for apavarga. Apavarga means not pavarga. Pavarga is considered as all the sufferings. Comes under Pavarga. Papa, Baba, Ma, right? Pavarga. Papam. All those things are involved in the Pavarga. And Apavarga means that it can has either enjoy this or go beyond in terms of moksha also. That is liberation. Apavarga is liberation. So Bhoga and Apavargartham for the sake of gaining, either enjoying or even for liberation also, this Prakriti is required.
This is in Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Yeah. liberation. Pravartate, it's functioning. So I need the Prakriti, this Sagunatma, or where I had to balance it, I had to go beyond the gunas for me to go beyond the Prakriti, for me to realize that my true nature, that is the liberation. So Prakriti sa pavartate. So essentially, Prakriti for Atma, it serves the Atma. In either way, for Bhogayatanam, or as well as for Apavargam. Therefore, for liberation also, I need the Prakriti. So Sankhya philosophy, that's why very close to the Advaita philosophy also. So we agree Sankhya, but we criticize Sankhya only in the Brahma Sutra.
Even Bhagavad Gita twist, he takes Sankhya and makes active to inactive and inactive.
Yeah. But at least there is a severe criticism of the Sankhya in the Brahma Sutras separately.
Patanjali is all about Purusha and Prakriti.
Yeah. But Purusha and Prakriti is also there in the Vedanta also.
Yeah. It's needed, it's a base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prakriti is needed to differentiate between both.
Prakriti is the Lakshmi Devi. Yeah. Sri, that's why Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. With the Sri only he goes. That's why we are called Sri Vaishnavites. With the Sri only we can go to Vishnu Loka. The mother is very tolerant, so she can tolerate all our problems, sins and all that, and cleans it up and dresses up and then present it to the father. That's why we are called Sri Vaishnavi. Through mother only we can approach father. Otherwise, father, get out. Get out clean. Evil father is very, very. So you cannot approach.
Better Vivek come there.
Yeah, through BMI only we have to reach the Omkara. That's what is Prakriti only we have to reach. Asangayasciter bandha. Atangayasciter bandha. Moksho bheda grahanmato. Moksho bheda grahanmato. Bandha mukti vyavastartham. Bandha mukti vyavastartham. Purveshamiva chidvidha. Purveshamiva chidvidha. So asangayascitehe. Asanga chitehe, this consciousness, asangayascha. So even though it is an asanga, means even though for the unattached, the consciousness, bandha moksha, the bondage as well as the liberation. So Veda agrahat, during the differences of Prakriti and Purusha here, during the conscious part and unconscious part. Prakriti is only helping, and therefore we have both the Purusha, the one who is the Jiva here, is a conscious entity plus the unconscious entity. Therefore Prakriti, Purusha, both are considered, and their differences also considered. Bandha mukti vyavastartham. For vyavastha of bandha or mukti, for whatever the state of bondage or liberation, in order to justify that, purvesham eva chidvidha. So Purvesham means it has been referenced earlier of Chidvidha. So that means the difference between what is inert and what is consciousness has been talked about in the past. Purvesham means just as the Nayayika's position, we agree with that part of it as the difference between the Purusha and Prakriti. I mean, there is conscious entity, there is unconscious entity. Their mix-up is only they think Atma is unconscious entity. That's the problem. So now we are going more details about the Mahat, and then Purusha and Prakriti is brought in. So we have to analyze slowly in terms of Jiva is what? Jiva is pure consciousness, and Advaita also agrees with that. And Sankhya position is it is infinite, we also agree with that. Now Where the disagreement also comes into picture is being, now we are talking about the Ishvara coming into picture, because the creation, he brought Purusha, Prakriti, and therefore creation aspect, all these things are coming now. So he's going to take one by one position of the different philosophers. Mahata Paramavyaktam, Mahata Paramavyaktam, iti Prakriti Ruchyate, iti Prakriti Ruchyate, Sruta Vasangata Tadvat, Sruta Vasangata Tadvat, Asango Hityatasputha, Asango Hityatasputha. So Mahat, of this infinite nature, Mahan, Paramam, supreme, Avyaktam, which is in the unmanifested. Srutau, the Upanishad statement says, Prakriti, that is unmanifested in the total. So, Tadeva Saumya Idamagramasid, either that or Atma Vedamagramasid, consciousness alone was there, existence alone was there before creation. All these statements essentially implies that which is infinite nature of that consciousness, which is supreme, is the cause, and which is avyaktam, in the unmanifest, is sruta, in the way Prakriti has become, which is unmanifest into a manifest form, is defined. Tadvado. Similarly, asangaha hi, this, even though the Purusha is detached, asanga means it doesn't have any attachment, he gets associated with the Prakriti for the creation of the whole universe also. Ata asangata sputaha. So therefore, asangata, the asangata means detachment aspect of the Purusha is also implied. That means being infinite, Atma is asangaha, but with the Prakriti it can be. So how can you have infinite Atma and then at the same time Prakriti also? So this is where the differences become problem, and Advaita comes out and says that Prakriti is therefore Mithya. It's because you cannot have infinite and then something else which is nothing to do with Atma. So but other people don't say. Let's see now. Here he is talking about the presence of consciousness in close proximity, things are happening. That's what it is. Chit sannidhau pravuttayaha, chit sannidhau pravuttayaha, prakriterhi niyamakam, prakriterhi niyamakam, Ishwaram bhruvate yogaha, Ishwaram bhruvate yogaha, sajivebhyah parasrutihi, jivebhyah parasrutaha. So yogaha, now we are talking about yogas. Yoga means yoga, followers of yoga. Now we have to understand Sankhya, Yoga. These are two different philosophies. They agree a little bit more parallel, but they are also differentiate. So Sankhya is one, Yoga is Patanjali Yoga. You know. So Sankhyas and Yogas, and there are Nyaya Vaiseshikas. They are Tarkikas. These are not Tarkikas. They believe in philosophy as main important. And Tarkikas, that is Nyaya Vaiseshika. These are all. And Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. All these things are involved. Okay. So now he is taking a yoga's position, followers of yoga philosophy. Chit sannidhav, in close proximity of chit or consciousness, pravuttayaha prakrutehi. So the functioning of the prakriti happens in the close proximity of the prakriti, of the consciousness. The prakriti gets activated. That's all it means. Indeed, niyamakam. So who makes it activate all this is Ishvaraha, Bhagavate. The one who controls this Prakriti is Ishvara. Saha, Jivebhyaha Paraha. He is beyond the Jivas. Jivebhyaha means for all, superior to this. Para means higher than all the Jivas together. Now they are defining who is Ishvara. Ishvara is the one who controls the Prakriti, and he is superior to all the Jivas. And this is how do you say that? Srutaha says, therefore it is declared by the scriptural statements. Therefore, the follower says, who is Ishvara? What is the nature of Ishvara? He is the controller, number one. And number two, he is the one who is as a Prakriti for the creation also. And number three, he is beyond, superior to all the jivas. So there are three aspects of the Ishvara that yogas, the followers of yoga, Patanjali, they postulate. Pradhana kshetrajna patihi, Pradhana kshetrajna patihi, Gunesha iti srutihi, Gunesha iti srutihi, Aranyake sambramena, Aranyake sambramena, Hyantaryamyapaditaha, Upapaditaha, yeah. Antaryami upapaditaha. Antaryami upapaditaha. The sandhi is there. So, Pradhana kshetrajna padihi. Pradhana is the kshetrajna and Prakriti. Patihi is the husband of, Lord of Prakriti and Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna means also all the ones who knows, or it means all the jivas also. Patihi. Guneshaha. Pradhana is a Sankhya of way of saying that is a Prakriti. Gunesha. So is also Isha of all the gunas. Guna means Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. So therefore it's Prakriti also involved. Iti hi srutaha. This is what the scriptures declare. Where? Aranyake. In the Aranyaka is Brihadaranyaka. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Ishvara is being as the Antaryami is, Antaryami Brahmana is there, and that's what we're going to take also exhaustively. This is what Gargi asks. Gargi questions Yajnavalkya. Tell me Sutra. Sutra is a word for Hiranyagarbha. And so tell me who is the control of all this? He says Sutra. Sutra means subtle body of all. Is there something higher beyond that controls? He says yes, that is called Antarya. Now tell me what is its nature. So it's a very funny, because if we say something which because he cannot define it. He cannot define that which is beyond. At the same time, he comes to a stage where he cannot keep quiet also. So beautiful slokas come out. So this is what we are going to do in the Brihadaranyaka camp. Anyway, so that is just a little bit. So iti hi srutaha aranyake, in the Brihadaranyaka asambramena, without sambramam, without any the delusion. Antaryami upaditaha. It's referred to as Antaryami. This is a Brihadaranyaka 3.7 has been given. 3rd chapter, 7th Brahmana. So they agree with the nature of Ishvara. So Antaryami means inner pervader. He is inside of everything. So now that's what, if you picturize, they put Atma, and then inside Atma there is another smaller light of Atma, Lord Narayan also they put it. That's how so one light and then another light inside. So Antaryami is inside also is there. Atrapi kalaha yante, Atrapi kalaha yante, Vadina swasva yuktibihi, Vadina swaktibihi, Vakyānyapi yatha prajñam, Vakyānyapi yatha prajñam, Dāಢyayo harantihi, Dāಢyayo harantihi. Atra means with respect to Ishvara, because we are discussing about the Ishvara. So of the nature of Ishvara is Api. Vadina, there are different philosophical positions also in terms of describing what is Ishvara. Swaswa yukti bihi, according to their own logical yukti. Swaswa means each one follows its own logic to justify what is the nature of Ishvara. Kalahayante, they have vehemently argue also on that. Yatha pragyam, depending upon their intellectual abilities. Vakyani api dadhuryaha udaharantihi. Vakyani means statements of scriptural statements. Vakyani api, even they quote scriptural statements. Dadhyaya, for supporting them. Udaharanti, they give examples of scriptural statements to support their philosophical positions about the nature of the Lord Ishvara also. So now we are going into discussion of what is Ishvara. We have finished the discussion of what is Jiva. Jiva is Anantatvam and he is Chitswarupam. And therefore, since it exists, it's Satswarupam. So it is Sat, Chit and Anantatvam eva Anandatvam also. Because infinite is only happiness. But it is Satchidananda Swarupam as per Advaita Vedanta. But here, they have different philosophical positions. Each Jiva is infinite, at the same time Ishvara is infinite, and at the same time Ishvara controls all this Jiva. So it's a lot of illogical aspects for these logicians. Also there has to be understood. Now what is the difference between the Jiva and Ishvara is going to come out here as per the Patanjali Yoga. Klesha karma vipakaistadu Klesha karma vipakaistadu Ashayairapya samyutaha Ashayairapya samyutaha Pum visesho bhavedesha Pum visesho bhavedesha Jivavatsopya sangachit Jivavatsopya sangachit. So klesha means miseries. We will give the list of 5 here in the book he has given. There are 5 miseries that a jiva undergoes. What are the miseries? If you don't know, these are the miseries that we all undergo. What is that? Number 1, avidya. Avidya means ignorance, because that's fundamental, and everybody complains that I don't know, and everybody wants to know. That's why that is an inherent assumption. According to the 3 fundamental assumptions. One is, I don't know. Another is, I am mortal and I am unhappy. These are the 3 conclusions I make about myself, Jiva. And I want to solve these 3 problems. I don't like those conclusions. I want to solve this problem. And trying to solve the problem, I want to be immortal. So I get this medicine, that medicine, all sorts of medicine to make myself mortal. If not, at least by namesake, I want to be name-wise. So I want to be eternally, I want to live. So even though I am in the deathbed complaining and everything, if Lord Yama comes down, say, come on, let's go. You want me to come? And say, no, tomorrow I'll come. So I want to live one more day. So because I want to make sure that my great-great-grandchild also gets married before I leave. All that is there. Why? Because I want to be eternally. That's my intrinsic nature. And that is the second. The third one is, of course, I am unhappy. Therefore, I want to be happy. Therefore, I want to collect this, that. So rat race starts because of the conclusion that I am unhappy. And all the 3, I am ignorant before in knowledge also. I want this, I want to know that. So Swamiji gives, you may be urgently going to the airport and suddenly people are accumulating somewhere and something. You want to stop and look what is happening there because you don't stand ignorance. You want to know what's happening. And particularly you want to know what other people are talking about you. You can't stand that ignorance. And in all these things, the misery is we will fail. Number 1, we cannot become infinitely. Ananda is, you want absolute happiness. Anything we gain, we are still incomplete. Therefore, we can never be happy completely. So, struggle goes on until we die. Intelligence, the more we know, the more ignorant we become. So, we want to know more and more. Specialization of, super specialization of smaller and smaller only. And, of course, jatasya hi dhruvam. Whatever is born has to die. So all the three can never be solved, but we cannot stop looking for it. That's the struggle of, that is klesha. Klesha is avidya, and this is asmita. Asmitva means I am is the reality. Means I take myself as real. Only problem is I take BMI as I am, and therefore I want to continue. That's reality of the world. Then raga and dvesha, that is 3 and 4. Then this is abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means identifying myself with the BMI. So these are the 5 miseries of the jiva. That is called klesha. Klesha, karma. Karma is, according to him, there are 3 types of karma. It says Sukla, Krishna, and mixture of Sukla, Krishna. Sukla is the meritorious actions. Krishna is black, sinful actions, and mixture of this Sukla, Krishna means half of this and half of that. There is no demarcation in it. In everyone there is a good and bad, maybe. So, klesha, karma, vipakaihi, and their fruits. Vipaka means the miseries and their products, essentially, the karma and their fruits of that. Tad ashayaihi, and their impressions in the mind, ashayaihi, api, asamyutaha. So that which is not associated with with that is pum visesha. This Lord is defining Lord. He doesn't have any of this. Though he is asamyutaha, he does not have any contact with all the things that are mentioned, which are properties for the jiva. So that way, pum viseshaha ishaha bhavet. So he is the one who does not have these sufferings. So that's how he defined. Saha api also jivavata, like a jiva, asangachita is of the nature of consciousness only, which is not really contacted with the unconscious entities, Prakriti, and therefore he is free from all that. So pum visesho bhavet ishaha jivavat saha api asangachita. So he is unperturbed and unsuffering, or therefore all the problems of jiva is not there, therefore he is superior to jiva. So that is the definition of what is the Ishvara. So he doesn't have all the problems that we have. But if you read Purana, all gods also have a lot of problems. You know, Purana. In Puranas, they have husband problem, wife problem, and all that, you know, all those problems.
Indra, especially Indra.
All Indra is Idamdra, I see, right?
So ego, yeah, Indra ego.
So one fellow said, I would like to be like Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva. What's the problem? Because they are able to stay very comfortably in their father-in-law's places. Vishnu is Shirasagara. Yeah. He is there in the Shirasagara. So because the Shirasagara Kanya is Lakshmi, so he is in the father-in-law place. So Shiva is also in the Himalayas. So this one I said, if they can stay, why not I also stay? So he went and stayed in father-in-law place. First day is okay, second day is okay, third day he became a problem. So I said, I don't know how they managed it, but I had to get out of this place.
Who is that?
This one sloka is actually sloka, beautiful sloka is there by a kavi. Making fun of. So even though he is asangaha, even though he is not really have any contact with the prakriti and all that, he still controls the prakriti, and this is what is emphasized in the next sloka. Tatha pipum viseshatvat tadapi pum viseshatva ghatatesya niyantruta ghatatesya niyantruta avyavastau bandhamokshau bandhamokshau apatetam mihamyatam. So tathapi, even though Vishnu is beyond all these things, without any of these problems, pum viseshatva, being a special pum, means being a special purusha, means he is a superior to everything else, and asya niyamtrata, so he is therefore a controller of both jiva and prakriti. He controls both. Therefore he is, this is what Visishtadvaita also says. Essentially, he controls both the jivas as well as the prakriti. In the Virat Swarupam, you have the body matter as well as the jiva as part of the total, and that's what is the Virat aspect of it. In fact, he is going to talk about Virat also. And asya niyantrata, so it's ghatate, it can be possible. Why? Because the scripture says so. There is no justification, logic or anything here. It is scripture says so. So anyatha, if not, iha bandha mokshau avyavastau apatetam. If not, this will be, there will be always bondage, and there will the moksha with respect to bondage and liberation. Avyavastau, there will be a lot of confusion and chaos according to them. So apati, they will result if there is no controller. If there is no controller, then everybody will start getting somewhere and all that, then you have problems. So you have to control who is admitted into the Vaikuntha. So that's why Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Mayamegam Tarantite. Only by those people who are surrendering to me have entrance to there. So in the Vaikuntha Ekadasi, they open the doors. So even the sinners can get in at that time. Provided you follow the Vaikuntha Ekadasi. I don't want to get into Vaikuntha Ekadasi right now.
When is it coming up? It's in winter, right?
Yes.
January?
Yes. Yeah. Vaikuntha Ekadasi, the doors are open on that day. So in the temples, they open special doors where you can enter and go into the church. But you have to come, people come out of it. That means they think that it's not Vaikuntha. That's a problem. You only enter, but once you say Yad Gatva Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama, once you enter, you cannot get out. Because you don't want to get out. So that is Vaikuntha. But if you are getting out, then that's not real Vaikuntha. There is a Bhagavatam story also. There is a Antakalepi Mameva Sparan Muktva Kalevaram. So even if you think of me in the last minute, and this fellow, he had all names about his Narayana. So he has named one son, says he calls Narayana, and died. And he has done all sorts of things, and there is no merit for him to go. But yeah. So the Narayana, but the Yamadharma's people have come, and the Narayana also have come. So he says, he told Narayana, he doesn't even know who is Narayana. Doesn't matter. Narayana knows who is Narayana. So when you call a lot of people Narayana, all Narayanas will respond, because they know that they are Narayanas. Like that, even though he may be calling his son as Narayana, the other Narayana is also Narayana. He is also responding for the call. And this is the last call. And you have to read Bhagavad Gita. Antakalepi. So he thought. So I say, all right. Since he said at least once, we will take him, and then we'll take him back to the Yamaloka afterward. So they took him to Vaikuntha, and once he goes there, he refuses to come back. He said, read again Bhagavad Gita. Yad gatva nivartante tadhama paramam. It's a very interesting slokas in Bhagavatam, but anyway, glorifying the nature of the reality also. So once you become a jnani, you cannot become a jnani. That's what actually means. Not that entering somewhere and going somewhere. So it's possible, Gatade. Otherwise, there will be a lot of confusion about who is liberated and who is not liberated and all that. So that's the logic. Therefore, Ishvara is both controller and he is the one who controls both the Jiva and Jagat, in spite of the fact that he is not associated directly with he is completely detached with the Prakriti. And for that, there are a lot of scriptural statements they quote here. In 107. Bhishasmadiccheva madau Bhishmadhyadisveva madau Asangasya paratmanaha Srutam tadyuktamapyasya Klesha karmadya sangamat Bhisha asmat iti, the quotation Bhisha asmat is a quotation from the scriptures. I'm not sure which scripture here. Taittiriya Upanishad, yeah, Katha Upanishad. KU stand for Katha Upanishad.
Yes.
Okay. The Katha Upanishad statement, there it says, if you remember the Katha Upanishad, he controls all the Panchabhutas also. They are afraid of him. That's what the statement in the Katha Upanishad, if you remember. So the Ishvara is all the things are following, all the Prakriti and everything, phenomenological forces are following the rules. Why? Because they are afraid of the Lord. That's why they have to follow everything. That's what the Katha Upanishad statement is. So therefore, Bhisha is essentially he's a tyrant. Lord is tyrant. And quotation is from the scripture statement. Asmaditi evam adau. Statements like that of the scriptures in the Taittiriya Upanishad and Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad I know. So by his mere presence, essentially everything in the whole universe is taken and follows the rules and regulations. So I can not bend those rules. I had to follow. Therefore, scientist only discovers the laws. Right? All the laws are nothing but the phenomenological forces. We call it the devatas. That's all. The word is only different. But they are the ones that control the operations of the whole universe. Right? According, they have to follow. It is cosmic system, not chaotic system. And who governs all this is Ishvara. Therefore, conscious entity, Ishvara has to be not unconscious, he has to be conscious. Therefore, consciousness was there even before the creation, as per the Vedanta also. So, Sangasya Paratmanaha is unattached because therefore he can control all these phenomenal forces, which is Prakriti. Shrutam tad yuktam apyasya. So api asya shrutam tad uktam. The Shruti himself had declared all these things. So we are not proposing some theory which is not in agreement, disagreement with the Shruti. Tat uktam Shrutim. And it is yuktam also. It is also appeal. It is also logical also, because there has to be controller. Who is the controller of that? Is Isvarasya. Therefore, because he is controller and is beyond all this, klesha karmadi asangamat. Therefore, all this klesha, karma, all these things that which are product for the jiva does not touch him at all. Nachaham teshu avastiteha. So maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyaktamurtina mastani sarva bhutani. All beings are in me, but at the same time, beings can be distorted, but I won't get distorted. Beings can have papa punyam, but asangam. Their states of this one does not affect me. That's a statement of Krishna also. So what is the difference between the Jiva and Ishvara is taken up now. Jivanamapya sangatvat जीवानामप्यसङ्गत्वा क्लेशादिर्न यथापि च क्लेशादिर्नप्यथापि च विवेकाग्रहत क्लेशा विवेकाग्रहतक्लेश कर्मादिप्रागुदीरितं जीवानामपि, even though jivas also asangatva, they are also asanga only. So if both are asanga, asanga means not attached to any of this. Then what's the difference between Ishvara and his jiva? Kleshadihi nahi. So miseries and all that are not there in the Ishvara. Atha, but even then, aviveka agrasa, in both of them they are not there, but due to some problem. Problem is aviveka agrahataha. Because of the lack of discrimination, jiva is going to suffer. Kleshadi karmadi prak udiritam. Klesha karmadi are going to be there, and this has been discussed in the previous sloka. Right? That's what we discussed before. So this has been discussed in this sloka 100. So what's the difference between jiva? Jiva has all these problems where he has 5 kleshas and 3 karmas and associated products of the samskara of the kartutva bhavam and voktutva bhavam. All that is associated with the jivas, and Ishvara doesn't have any of these problems, and therefore he is Ishvara. That's the difference. Even though both are conscious entities, and conscious entities cannot have unconscious entities, because there cannot be parts in that. Therefore they have to be unattached only. Nitya jnana prayatnecha, nitya jnana prayatnecha, gunani sasya manvate, gunani sasya manvate, asangasya niyantrutvam, asangasya niyantrutvam, ayuktamiti tarkikaha, ayuktamiti tarkikaha. So asangasya, the unattached nature of the consciousness, that of the Ishvara, that means the Ishvara's nature who is the consciousness and is unattached, and at the same time niyantratvam, the controller, niyanta is the controllership of that, is ayuktam, is not possible. Iti tarkikaha, therefore tarkikas argue with these guys. You say he is a asanga, at the same time he is a controller. This is not possible, because it's illogical. Nitya jnana prayatna ichha, nitya jnana prayatna ichha gunan ishasya manvate. So therefore, what is it? Manvate. So nityam jnanam, nitya jnanam also. Nityam also eternity, and jnanam is consciousness, or nitya jnanam, the eternal knowledge, and prayatna, efforts, and ichha, desires, gunan, isasya manyate. They are attributes associated with the Ishvara also. Therefore, that's what the logicians do not accept the arguments of the Patanjali Yoga. If you are interested in Nyaya Vaiseshikas, they are in the Nyaya, there is the old logic and new logic also. And new logic developed in the 11th century, and Annam Bhatta has a book on the primary, the first book on the logic you can get, and it's a mind-boggling, but that's what Tarkikas. It's a very good Shastra actually. They use Tarka and Navya Nyaya to criticize other religions also, because there forms a basis where the Satadhushani of Vedanta Deshika is using a pure logic, and Advaitin, that's Visishta Advaita book. And Advaitins have Nyaya Amrutam, is criticism of Advaita using the Navya Nyaya.
You can use the same thing to criticize the what are called the Semitic religions also, same platform. So if Hindus want to have a discussion with the others.
Yes, there's Sri Harsha and all that. There's different philosophers, and the Advaita Siddhi is a response to the Nyayamrita by Madhusudana Saraswati. But anyway, interesting. I want to learn, study that Advaita Siddhi. There are two teachers in Madras. One is oh boy. One is both are teaching in only Tamil, and yeah, both are teaching in Tamil, and so one is from Andhra actually, the famous guy. So I called him. I said, "Sir, you're teaching. I want to learn this one." I says, "So what language do you speak?" He said, "Telugu." "Oh, Telugu. Ah. Okay, come." So I went there with some fruits and all that. He took special classes for me just in Telugu. He thought he was teaching me for my own sake. He was ready to teach me at home. I forgot the name. It's very bad of me, but anyway. So unfortunately, he became sick, and I had to withdraw from that. Anyway, now he's teaching again. Let's see where we are now. We will take one more sloka. Pum visheshattvamapyasya tum visheshattvamapyasya gunaireva na chanyatha gunaireva na chanyatha satya kama satya sankalpaha satya kama sankalpa ityadi srutirjagau Ityadi Shrutirjagau. So Ishwarasya, what are the special qualities of Ishvara? According to him, Asya Ishwarasya, they have prescribed these qualities. Ishwarasya api gunai, due to these gunas. What are the gunas? Visheshatvam, they are special gunas for him. So there are attributes for Ishvara also. Even though he is infinite, he has attributes. That's what Visishtadvaita also is. Samasta is Ananta Kalyana Gunashrayam. Ramanuja says he is infinite auspicious qualities. Source of infinite auspicious qualities. That is Ishvara. If everything has attributes, he also has attributes. But he doesn't have Durgunam. Nirgunam they define as Durguna Dosha Rahitam. So Pum Visheshatvatman Apyasya Api Asya Gunaireva Nacha Anyatha. So he has special gunas because of that. What are the special gunas? Satya Kamaha, Satya Sankalpaha. These are the Satya. He has a good desire. Satya Kama means is noble desires. That's how the creation, and because of that only he is creating, for that people can evolve to liberation. Why did he create? Because that's all the vasanas to fulfill, and in the process he hopes that jivas will evolve and realize the moksha. So out of compassion only he is creating. So Satya Kamaha, with the desires which are all, and Satya Sankalpaha, and which are essentially Loka Kalyanam only is the, that's why he comes down, Yada Yada Pi Dharmasya Glanirbhavati Bharata. So Ityadi Sruti Jagau, this is what the scriptures have declared. So this is what the people, Nyayikas are saying like this, right? Whereas you cannot say he is Asangaha, he is associated with the gunas only, whereas the other guys, who are the other guys? Sankhyas? they he is unattached to them. Nayayikas also. Yoga people. Yoga. Sankhya and Yoga also. Sankhya both are. So here 110, we stop here. We went a little fast only because we are only discussing different philosophical positions here. So let's do Purnamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi